First game of the season literally decided by a toe. A team got 2 safeties but didn't win. Multiple double-digit comebacks and a big-time upset? This season's off to a great start. I can't wait to see what's next. What's going on, guys? Dick's Report here, back to another video. Today we are going over my picks for Week 2. And if it's anything like Week 1, we're going to be in for a fun ride. Let's jump right in. Alright, on Thursday night game is a divisional matchup between Buffalo and Miami. Now, both these teams had to overcome adversity in Week 1. And I would say Miami more than Buffalo because of what happened to some of their players before the game, but I'm not going to get into that. They were both down by double digits against the Cardinals for the Bills and the Jaguars for the Dolphins, but both of them came back and won. As for this game, I'm going to go Buffalo. Until Miami proves that they can beat them, I got to go with them. Raiders going up against the Ravens. For the Raiders, they could not stop the run against the Chargers, plain and simple. As for the Ravens, they kept up with the 2-time defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs and lost by a toe, by the toe of Isaiah Likely. I think they're going to be just fine. And for those of you that's saying that this is further proof that Lamar's not a good quarterback, what are you even watching? And by the way, the Zay Flowers, he should have stopped. He never should have kept running. I think that's what Lamar was expecting him to do. Give me Baltimore. Chargers up against Carolina. Chargers, well, we know they can run the ball. We know they can run the ball, and they're going to need it because that receiving core, not particularly great at the moment. Meanwhile, for Carolina, the less the better, I guess. Give me the Chargers. New Orleans going up against Dallas. Speaking of the team that destroyed the Panthers, New Orleans, I can't say much about them because, well, they destroyed the Panthers. There's not really much to say about that. So we'll see what happens against the Cowboys. And I severely underestimated the talent the Cowboys had. I thought with all the losses that they had and not gaining a lot, they would struggle at the beginning of the year. That did not happen. They thoroughly handled the Browns. I'm picking them against the Saints. Tampa Bay taking on Detroit. Another playoff rematch for the Lions. This time the team they faced off in the divisional round. Of course, the Lions won that. Both these teams did a good job in Week 1. The Lions won in overtime. Wonderful Sunday night matchup against the Rams. While the Buccaneers, they took care of business against the Commanders, and I really wasn't shocked by that. This one, I'm also expecting another great game. Lions win. Indianapolis taking on Green Bay, and I just feel bad for the Packers right now because they're going to be without Jordan Love for 3 to 6 weeks. It could have been worse. Hopefully, it's not going to hurt them too much. Hopefully, they can win some of the games that he misses. For Indianapolis, I mean, it was a thriller against the Texans. That could have gone either way. Unfortunately, the Colts lost that matchup, but Anthony Richardson has really shown what he can do at the NFL level. And like I said, if he can just get more consistency, Colts are going to have a good one. I'm going to pick them over the Packers. Cleveland going up against Jacksonville. Okay, both these teams, I don't know what to say about Cleveland. I've said this before. It's the quarterback play that's really going to drive this season, and Deshaun Watson just did not look good against the Cowboys. And now we have another accusation against him. I don't know what's going to come from that. I'm not getting into that. Jacksonville, they blew a 10-point lead against the Dolphins. Just could not stop them in the second half and could not get any points. I'm going to go with the Browns. San Francisco taking on the Vikings. The Vikings, really nice win against the Giants. I'll admit, I overrated the Giants. I thought they were going to be a little bit better than what they showed in Week 1. Meanwhile, for the 49ers, they took care of business against the other New York team, the Jets, and I'm picking them over the Vikings. Seattle taking on New England. New England had a big-time upset. They beat the Bengals. Let me repeat that. The Patriots beat the Bengals Week 1. Wow, that was a really good game. If you don't like games like that, I'm sorry, you don't like football. And Seattle, even though they gave up 2 safeties against the Broncos, they still won the game. I'm going to pick them over the Patriots. Jets taking on Tennessee. For Tennessee, I mean, they were out to a 17-0 lead. Didn't give up an offensive touchdown to the Bears, and they still lost 24-17. And for the Jets, I mean, that was not a good performance Monday night. However, I'm going to go with them over the Titans. Giants taking on the Commanders. For the Commanders, Jaden Daniels had the best Week 1 out of the rookie quarterbacks, and that's just the fact. He had the best Week 1. For the Giants, yeah, this is going to be a long season for them if they play like they did last week. Give me the Commanders. Rams taking on the Cardinals. For the Rams, they show that they are still a good team in this league, even without Aaron Donald. And for the Cardinals, I told you, I told you they could surprise some people. They play like they did week 1 against the Bills without blowing the lead and not including Marvin Harrison Jr. more than they should have. Hopefully they can clean that up. Anyway, I still think the Cardinals could show something this year, but I still got to go with the Rams. Pittsburgh taking on the Broncos. For the Broncos, Bo Nix was uneven. I know he threw 2 interceptions, but there is something there. He did show some very good plays in his first NFL start. For Pittsburgh, that defense is just amazing. They really are. I mean, they didn't score a single touchdown, and they still won against the Falcons. Give me them over the Broncos. Cincinnati taking on KC. Look, I get it. Joe Burrow, he does well against Patrick Mahomes. I get it. But to lose to the Patriots like they did, and now they got to go to Arrowhead and face off against the Chiefs, where they just look like they're already at mid-season form, it's going to be rough. I got to go with the Chiefs. Bears taking on Houston. Now, this is pretty interesting. The Houston got the number 2 overall pick after blowing their tank, allowing the Bears to get that first overall pick, made the trade with the Panthers, then ended up with the number 1 overall pick because of the Panthers just completely... What more can I say? They sucked. They sucked last year, allowing them to get Caleb Williams. Man, it's funny how things just work out. As for this game, I'm going to go with C.J. Stroud and the Texans. I think the Bears are going to be pretty good this year, and I think Caleb Williams is going to end up getting better as the season goes on. But the Texans, they just look like a really good team. And our Monday night game is Atlanta taking on Philadelphia. Philadelphia coming off a nice win in Brazil. Jalen Hurts, he was up and down, but hopefully we see more of the good than the bad as the season goes on. Meanwhile, for Atlanta, Kirk Cousins and that offense just has to get better. You cannot score 10 points to start the season against the Steelers. You just can't if you want to win the game. Falcons learned that the hard way, and I say they start 0-2. I'm going with the Eagles. Alright guys, those were my picks for week 2. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. As always, I'll see you guys next time.